But anyway, we have a lot of things we'll have to catch up on in the next few days. We're going to have to get Craig's thoughts. We'll get Filthy's thoughts since he was there. We'll get Lance's thoughts since he was there. Brent apparently has been calling everybody trying to get on the show.
Has he called you?
Oh, no, of course not. I think he's tried.
How much have you talked about Brent on any other shows?
Not at all.
Okay, I don't know. I feel like we have about 6 shows worth of stuff to discuss, but we may as well start with Brent.
If you want to, here's exactly what I know.
All right.
I'll tell you everything that I know. I know that Brent made it to Dallas. I know that Brent made it to the buffet, the banquet. I know that Brent walked up to me and he said, "Bryan, I've got to show you what I've got for Missy."
Oh, no.
And he had what, I swear to God, it was in a little box like it was going to be a wedding ring. And he opens it up and it's some sort of necklace, some sort of Jewish necklace. Gold! And I thought, I don't know how much you spent on this, but you're going to end up very disappointed by the end of this weekend.
Yeah.
Brent then, at some point during the banquet, stopped everybody and he gave a speech. Now, I don't know what he said. I couldn't hear a word that he said. But I know that when it was over, people were giving him money.
Okay, the speech is on... I've seen at least one video. I think there's 2. The speech is... the gist of it is he did not account for his taxi cab ride from Arlington to Dallas, which is 20 miles away. So this cost him $40 from his budget he was not expecting to spend. So he was hoping if everyone there chipped in at $1, then he'd get his money back and be able to continue on his weekend.
Can you imagine?
Now,
the gall of this man. And then people did.
Yeah, that actually,
he got his money.
The fact that people actually gave him money makes me angry.
Now, I wasn't going to stand up and say, listen, everybody, Brent's got a several $100 golden necklace here that he could sell and make his way back to his hotel. But so that was the last I saw of him the entire weekend. I know that he allegedly got stuck several other times. Mm-hmm. I don't think he ever found Missy.
Good.
And she had a plan.
I bet it didn't involve a firearm.
It didn't involve a firearm, but she had a plan if he would have shown up, and he never did. There were rumors that he was incarcerated, which I can tell everybody were untrue.
Yes.
But it does tell you something that somebody on the board wrote that he was in jail, and everyone immediately
believed it.
Yeah, that's the key.
That tells you all you need to know.
Yep, that happened. I know that he did end up at WrestleMania. I know that people saw him there and went out of their way to attempt to avoid him. And that's the last I heard.
Okay. Let's see. So the dinner would have been Friday night, right?
Dinner was Friday, yes.
Okay. Going back over, trying to remember when it was. I think it was Thursday morning. Thursday morning, he calls me from the Los Angeles airport and lets me know he's at the airport. He wants me to call him, and he'll see me there. Thinking, no, you won't. Next call I get from him is he's in Texas. He's at the airport. I think he was trying to figure out how to get to the hotel. He wanted me to give him a ride. He called me one other time that day, still upset about that. Then he started calling the next day, which was Friday. This is when, even though he had everything was happening in Dallas, he had booked a hotel in Arlington, which is 20 miles away, and had made no plans for how to get between the two cities, other than apparently call me and ask if I asked for a ride.
Who wasn't even in Dallas.
I was.
How many times did you tell him, I'm not in Dallas?
Every time he asked. I was, I don't know, 1,500 miles away? So, he called me a couple times, and I was starting to panic that afternoon, because he's going to have to cost him $40 to get to that dinner. How the hell is he going to get there? And I don't care. And then I hear word, of course, that he did, in fact, make the dinner. I watched his speech, shook my head. And then I didn't hear from him for a while, because he got to the dinner and realized I wasn't there. And then I guess it would have been, today's Tuesday, so Monday night, he calls me 2 or 3 more times. First, he lets me know that he's surprised I was not at WrestleMania. He let me know it doesn't make any sense to him.
One of the voicemails.
He was so disappointed. Oh, I should add this, by the way. Every time he called me, he left a voicemail. I never called him back. I never texted him back. He's essentially stalking me, really. Every single one of these, I forwarded the voicemail to Bryan so he could share what was going on. So, yeah, he called me twice last night. He never said he was disappointed, but you could tell he was, that I was not there. And he very badly wants to come on this show and talk about things.
What's there to talk about?
You'd have to ask him.
I've got a bunch of the voicemails here.
Oh, yeah, because I forwarded them all to you.
Yeah.
And by the way, usually when Brent calls, we have to blank out his phone number or whatever. The only phone number he leaves is when he's in his hotel. Oh, that's another thing. Play the voicemail. I don't want to spoil it.
Well, you go ahead. I'm going to find a good one.
Okay, there is one. I may spoil it, but anyway. It was the day he was trying to get from his hotel in Arlington to the Empire dinner in Dallas.
Okay, you've sent me 8. Is there anyone in particular you'd like me to play?
Let's try number, I think it'll be 4.
All right.
If memory's serving me right.
Let's see if this plays.
Hey, Vinny, I'm at my hotel. I'm 817-633-7588.
It's a hotel. Doesn't matter.
I'm in room.
Well, we don't know. Doesn't
so
matter.
I hope I have enough money for cab to get over there. This is an expense I wasn't counting on. Taking a cab over to Dallas.
It was an expense I wasn't counting on?
Yeah, it'd be nice if you call me. Bye.
What, it was going to be a free ride?
I guess. Play the one right before that, actually. If this isn't it, I would just tell you the best part.
Vince, it's Brent. I'm at my hotel in Arlington. I don't have any way to go anywhere if there's no public transportation in Arlington. So
there's no public transportation in Arlington?
Help. Hopefully I can at least walk to the library and have access to Facebook. Yeah, I need a ride to get to that dinner. Bye.
At least he's hoping...
You know what? Let me just add one thing. There were a couple of people that were mad at me because I didn't figure out Brent's transportation.
Yeah. He's a grown
It's
man.
WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah.
He got there, and he got back, and he got everywhere. Why is it my responsibility to get him around?
That's the part that gets me. I don't know. Yeah, so I felt like sharing that with the world.
Dude, there's like 8 more. I'm not going to play them.
You need to play them all. You don't need to play them all. The part about, because I guess his phone died and he didn't have a charger, so he had to go to the library to use Facebook. But
I can't believe he had a phone.
Why does he call me?
That is an upgrade. I don't know why he calls you.
There was in the first.
He called you because I wouldn't answer.
I have his number on my phone specifically so I know not to answer, and I now have the hotel in Arlington. Brent's hotel in Arlington is in my phone, so I know not to answer that number. But he got a new phone for this weekend, so he called me. The first call on Friday, I was asleep. The second call came in like noon or so, and the phone rings. It's a number I don't recognize, but it's a Seattle number. I pick it up and I say hello, and I hear, "Vinny, do you know who this is?" And I say, "Bye, Brent," and I hang up. And then he called me right back and left another number, and I put that number to my phone to so I know it's Brent Kremen. Don't answer.
What's amazing is he made it to Arlington. He made it to the banquet. He made it to the Hall of Fame. He made it to WrestleMania. Missy had a signing at WrestleCon. That was the one thing.
Yes.
That was the one thing that he wanted to do more than anything else the entire weekend. And it was the one thing that somehow he was completely unable to finagle. How? How did he fail at that?
I don't know.
It's mind-boggling, actually.
So, yeah, I thought we should talk about that just to share it with the world. That was a big chunk of my Mania weekend. Dodging Brent's phone calls. Even after Mania.
How many times did you tell him you weren't there?
I only see him when I'm with you, when you see him with me, but every time he asked, I said I'm not going.
And as I mentioned on the Facebook page, I didn't have a car.
Yeah.
But I had money for a taxi.
He just anticipates it's everyone else's job to take care of him and chauffeur him around.
I got a taxi from the airport to the hotel, and I got a taxi from the hotel to the airport. I got a couple of rides, but largely, I just walked everywhere. I walked to WrestleCon. I walked to NXT. I walked to the American Airlines Center, which was not that far. It was like a mile. And I walked back. I walked everywhere.
Yeah.
I walked and walked and walked. My Fitbit is on fire right now. My Fitbit is like Mick Foley's head in that Retro Raw we're going to be talking about here. When he goes, what's that burning smell? It's my Fitbit.
Yes.
I walked everywhere. But what the hell? I don't know.
And I just want to say one more thing, because this came up on the board. If you think perhaps we're being mean to our friend and bad people, Brent's not my friend. I don't like Brent. I don't want to hang out with Brent.
You know, Vinny, I brought this up on the Christmas show, and you denied not liking him.
Well, was he on the phone?
You were drinking.
Yeah. I was probably trying to be polite.
He may have been on the phone. I can't remember.
But, yeah. I prefer Brent not call me. I can be civil. I'm a grown-up. If we happen to be at the same place, I won't, yell at him. Unless he's talking to my wife. I did yell at him for that. Leave her alone. But, yeah, other than that, Brent just bothers me.
You know the one thing that sort of, I can't really say it bothered me, but it kind of bothered me a little bit. Everybody's coming up to me at the banquet talking about how, oh my God, he's real.
Yeah.
He's not a gimmick.
Yeah.
And it was like, so for 10 years, you think that I've just been lying to you on the air. Why would I make this up?
I don't know. How could we? You couldn't invent Brent. We're not that creative.
Now, to be fair, all of you that met him are aware of this. Maybe those of you that have never met Brent, who think that we're being so mean to Brent, maybe someday you'll meet him and then you'll understand. Brent is legit, but it's no mystery to Brent. And he plays it up. And he managed to get $40 out of everybody at dinner by playing it up and being Brent.
Well, that's probably true.
Brent is legit, but he also is a gimmick. It's very hard to explain.
Brent is hard to explain. That is true.
I'll get him on this show one of these days.